Happy Wednesday. How are you? I hope you are having an awesome day. I would love to hear about your day, hear about what you got going on. What are you working on today? Um, Today, I wanted to talk about favor. I know since the coach from South Carolina, they've been talking about uncommon favor. Like everybody in business world, we all using it because it was really good. But I do want to talk about favor versus favored. And I know many of you are going to be like, well, what is the difference? I remember a few years ago, one of my closest friends, she was talking with me about some people in her church. And it's like, those are the people in at the time in her ministry. She was over a certain ministry. And whenever she needed something, they were always there. It was a husband and wife. They were always there for her. She never had to ask twice. And then after so many times of other people in the ministry recognizing that these people, it's almost like they always get to the front of the line. So I guess many people have began to complain and said, well, how come this couple always gets to do whatever? And she's like, I never have to ask them for anything. They do whatever I ask them. They don't complain. They just come through. They are like my right hand people. And I remember, people were saying to her, well, they're your favorites. They're your favorites. And I began that day sharing with her. I said, no, they're favored. And she was like, okay. I said, because of their obedience, because of their acts of kindness, because they go above and beyond, they are favored. Like when you think of the word favored, all right, it is something that like a person is the favored candidate for the position or something like that. Why are they the favored candidate for something? And so many of us, we get favor and favored confused. So it becomes, there's a season, I think, in all of our lives that we are in at a point that, you know what? Yes, as the South Carolina coach said, it's uncommon favor. But then there are seasons in our life that people are favored. And I have to realize that I did a teaching with my staff one time. You have those people who work with you and they say, well, it's not fair that the same people get recognition all the time. What about the rest of us? And my point to them is that, well, they are favored because they come to work on time. They do their job that they are paid to do. And not only do they do their job, they go above and beyond what is asked of them. So when you go above and beyond what is asked of you, you get to walk in being favored. That means that, hey, you know what? Because of what you do, and I know many of you say, well, it shouldn't be based upon that. Man, when people get raises, do you think they consider you for increase before you start doing the next thing they want you to do? Most of the time, people get increase or raises on their jobs because they're already doing the thing to get them to that next level. But many of us want the raise first, and then we begin to do the work, but it doesn't always work that way. You have to show people on your job that you can handle it, that this is what I can do. This is what I was brought here on this job to do. I need to prove to you that I know what I'm doing. I can do this. Whether you give me the increase or not, I can do this job. And so that person begins to be favored in the workplace. So many of you have a difficult time realizing the difference. The other one is just favor. Yes. Can you do me a favor? That means asking someone to do something for you. But favored comes from acts of obedience, acts of kindness. Like it's a totally different thing. For me, I can only speak about me. So even as many of you know, I was dealt with the issue as being in my boutique. And when it was presented to me, and it was like, okay, God, I'm having a whole moment about this thing. Like, this is my baby. You promised me that if I did this, if I used this area for ministry, that I just believe you would take care of me. I knew the type of lease that I had, that it was a short-term lease. I knew that someone else could come in, offer more money. I could get the boot, like all these things I knew, but I never expected it to happen to me. Because sometimes we get bold with God like that. And it's like, nah, this is what you promised me. So you got to come through. And so even in that moment, the people that surrounded me, the people that I shared it with, they could see what I couldn't see. All I was doing was reading the letter that I was presented, and it said, you must vacate the premises. But there were many others that once I shared it with them, they were like, no, you're not leaving. God has to keep his promise and he has to do this. I'm like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I'm also reading this letter that's presented to me as well. I've talked to them. I even wrote a letter to them. But let me tell you this. There was a young man who was determined to speak to me. And even through all of that, I, being me, sometimes being a woman in business, when you deal with people, men, whatever the case is, we began to okay, I'm only going to talk about me. I began to put up this wall and be like, who's trying to come in my space? It's not even time yet. The mall wouldn't even tell me who was coming in. But the one thing I appreciate is that at some point, even though this was happening, the man was determined to come and speak to me. He wrote me an email. He came to my store. He talked to my manager. He found me at the store that Saturday I was there. And he came and asked me, he said, why are you leaving? I said, sir, I am not leaving because I want to leave. I'm leaving because they said I had to leave. And at that point, he began to say, well, ma'am, that's not who I am. I am not going to come in and take this space from you, knowing that this is something that you did not request. So therefore, I am not going to sign the lease. And let me tell you, at that moment, I began to let this man know he was a man of integrity. He understood that it's already a challenge for us as small businesses, period. And so from that, it was such a sigh of release and relief to even know that someone cared that much. And there was a couple at my church this past Sunday, and I shared it with the congregation on Sunday. And they too were in this man's store about 2 weeks ago. He began to share with them what the mall had offered him and where he could go. He said, but I don't want to go in that space. I don't want that lady to have to lose her business all because they're offering me her space, even for more money. Him and I paid the same amount of rent. But his point is, I'm not going to do that to this woman. Now, all this man kept saying to me was just pray for me. Pray for me. Now, you know what? That also showed me that, you know what? He may be a Christian. He may believe in God. I'm not sure if it's Jesus Christ or whatever, but I can tell you this. He was definitely a man of integrity. He was definitely, I am so glad I did not have my big wall up that I always have, that sometimes I start the fight even before the fight even happens. All because I'm thinking he's trying to invade my space, when in actuality, he just wanted to have a conversation to let me know and hear my side of the story. Now, how does that make me feel about being at the mall? We both realize it's not about us, it's about the money. Sure, my sales have been low, but I haven't missed a payment for my rent. And even for those of you in business, this is a part of the several streams of income. When you have more than one business and one is not as strong, the other businesses help feed the other ones. That is how that works, okay? I didn't understand it until 2014. One of my friends, I was struggling in my first daycare. And I'm like, I have an opportunity to open the second one, but why would I open the second one knowing the first one is struggling? He says, because it gives you more revenue to help feed these other businesses. I did not understand that, but I'm going to tell you, I understand it now. That you have several streams of income to help feed the slow seasons in some of your other businesses. So when one is strong, the stronger one can help the weaker one. And when they all are strong, everybody wins. That means you can give more increases on your job. You can pay people more. You can do so much more when you're in the season of increase. But I am truly grateful for this man who decided to come and speak to me and get more clarity. And he was determined, I will not sign. And even after that, then he followed up with me to make sure that they did not dismiss me even after he agreed that he wasn't going to sign. So you will see later this week, probably tomorrow, I'm going to go to his store. His store is called Ollieland. It's up by Coach Outlet in Potomac Mills Mall. And I just want to do a live with him because he is definitely a man of integrity. I appreciate how he really pressed in to really sit and wanted to talk to me and find out what was the truth behind everything. And you know what? That was my prayer. God, show me. Now, according to what I had in front of me, I did not know or see how this would all turn out. But I am forever grateful for those that I have in my circle who could pray for me when I couldn't even pray for myself. So I would encourage you that if you are in this season, do you have favor or are you favored? And they both are good, okay? It's not a bad thing. But it's just different when you are favored by God. When you know that, you know what, he's going to look out for me, even though I don't understand what is going on. But I am truly grateful for God's to be in his favorite and that he favors me. He looks out for me, even in seasons where I'm like, God, I don't even know how you're going to do it. And one thing about me, I'm not just going to come and tell you when the grass is green. I'm going to share with you when there's weeds, when the grass is so burnt from the sun that I don't even know what the world is going on over here. I don't ever want anybody to say that Coach only always shows me the good side of business. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, the moments that I have when I want to quit, the moments that I have when I'm like, what the world is going on, because I have no idea. But I just want to encourage somebody today that no matter what it looks like, just stand firm, stand strong, seek God, seek what he has, but also remind God of his promises. Remind him of what he said that he would do for you. Remind him that he will take care of you. He will supply all of your needs. So if that is what you believe, how much will you believe and trust that he will do it for you? All right. But I will be honest with you. I didn't see no light at the end of my tunnel. But the one thing I can say that I had a peace about is last week when my husband and I had already had this trip planned. And all I could hear, not just the Lord saying, but everybody around me was just rest. Rest. And that is exactly what I did. Because you know what? I assumed when I came home, which I still am hitting the ground running, but there's a difference. I was able to take a step back because this Sunday was supposed to be our last day open. So I am truly grateful for the extended time that we have there, but definitely continue to pray, to keep supporting, to keep, encouraging not just me, but encourage yourself too. But get yourself surrounded by people who can see what you don't even see. All right. And many of you who attend Life Connect, you remember the one thing the Holy Spirit was like really giving me, like, do you see what I see? Not knowing that was also for me. And it's like, I have to see things the way God sees it in spite of what I'm presented with. So I encourage you to do the same today. I love you guys. I pray you have a great day. Remember, at the end of this month, April the 26th, is my book signing event. I would love to have you guys come. The actual event is free. We only have a few VIP seats available, but we're going to have a great time at the book signing event. We're going to have a great speaker, Rhonda, who's going to come about if you have an idea about writing a book, how you can write your book, but also how you can get on platforms and increase sales and things like that to make more money. But we're going to have a great fellowship. You're going to be able to meet many people who contributed and wrote the foreword to the book. I'm so excited. My sister Nakia Marie is going to come and perform. We're going to have light refreshments. We're going to laugh. We're just going to have a great time. I am truly excited to spend time with you. And then on that Saturday is our women's conference, Faith Without Works. And man, we have some powerful speakers that are going to be there joining us as well. That is at Life Connect Community Church. The event on Friday is at the Open Arts Center in Stonebridge. That'll be at 7 p.m. Friday night. Saturday, the conference doors will open, I think 9:30. We'll start at 10. But we're going to have a great, great time fellowshipping with the ladies, but also realizing that if we don't ignite our faith, if we don't light it up, if we don't stand firm in what we know God has called us to be, then how can we move forward? You know, we got to move forward. We have to put in the work. Many of us, I mean, hey, I would love to eat everything I want and never exercise and lose 20 pounds. So remember that what do you have to do? You got to ignite as they always say, get your body going. You want to move your body so you can lose the weight and lose this and that. Man, if it was up to me, I wish it worked different, that if you eat food, you lose weight. Can someone please create that for me? I will be the guinea pig. I will try that. I will be the one that I will sacrifice myself for you to use that, and where I can eat what I want and I lose weight. Come on. I'm speaking, I can't even say prophetically. I'm speaking pathetically. However, you guys know what I'm saying. But if you create it, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna be there for you, okay? But nevertheless, but join me for that conference this Saturday. My sister is hosting a music workshop. For those of you who want to write music, you play an instrument, you play at a church. If you just want to understand how does this music industry work, because guys, it's a whole different level. And so many of you just think if you sing or if you write a song, man, if you write the song and you sing it, do you realize you make more money? But also too, as a songwriter, if you write the song and some artists sing it, it's just as you making more money. So they're going to tell you about how the music industry works. If you're a worship leader and you want to come and understand even about praise and worship, I mean, it's something there for everybody. If you're not even sure if you even like music like that, just come and fellowship. That's going to be at Life Connect Community Church with Nakia Marie, Marette Brown Clark, a host of many others. It's going to be the people that are there who are into music, who have studios. They will let you use their studio to record your stuff. Some are offering it for free. Some are doing it for a low-cost fee. Man, you don't want to miss it this weekend. So a lot going on, but I just wanted to come on and share with you guys about the thing that we all are talking about, uncommon favor, that we're all are walking in the favor of God. But what are you doing to be favored? All right. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.